Throw away your power tools. No fancy equipment required. Just elbow grease. Hi guys, I'm Vitale, and today on Summer Desserts Unplugged, I'm going to show you how to make vanilla semifreddo. A semifreddo is an old classic Italian ice cream recipe that I'm really thrilled to be able to share with you because it's incredibly simple but absolutely delicious. Let me take you over the ingredients so we can get started. You're going to need some egg yolks, regular plain old sugar, a vanilla bean, and you're also gonna need some heavy cream, which I have in the fridge right now because I want that to be nice and chilled right before we whip it so it gets done really, really quick. So the first thing you wanna do is get a saucepan, and you wanna make sure you get a saucepan that you're able to fit a bowl, whether it's a glass bowl or a metal bowl. Just make sure it's heat proof right on top of it and it fits perfectly, because what we're initially going to do is pretty much cook the egg yolk batter over a double boiler, which all I have in here is about an inch of water that's over simmered. I don't want to boil it because I don't want to cook the egg yolks too much. So now what I'm going to do is pretty much separate my eggs. I'm going to keep the whites in this bowl and the yolks in the other. And do not get rid of these egg whites because they make for a fabulous egg white omelet tomorrow morning. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sugar. This is plain all granulated sugar. And with the whisk, I am just gonna whisk these together for about a minute or two, or until they become like nice and pale in color. And you're all gonna need to do a little bit of whisking here. So the good news is no workout for today. So now to this, we're gonna add our vanilla bean. Now to a baker, you could absolutely use vanilla extract, but what it does for your dish, it just gives it such an authentic vanilla flavor that it's just out of this world. And for me, vanilla semifreddo has to have the specks of vanilla bean in it. And you can see how nice and pale and thick has gotten. And you know you're at the right consistency where you take your whisk and it kind of makes a figure 8 motion like that. You're good to go. Now I'm gonna put this over my simmering water in my pan, and I'm gonna whisk this for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the sugar has dissolved. And what that does, it kind of cooks the egg yolks. So traditionally you use an ice cream maker for this, but I think ice cream maker actually ruins the texture of a semifreddo, because semifreddo is meant to have that smooth, velvety texture. It's not meant to be super hard like an ice cream normally is. I'm just gonna sit here and whisk for about 8 to 10 minutes. When you're cooking something over a double boiler, something like a custard, the number one thing to remember is that the bottom of your bowl should never touch the simmering water. That is number one tip, because it can scorch the eggs and then it goes to waste, and we don't want that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strain it. And the reason I strain it is because if there so happens to be a piece of egg or an eggshell or something that I haven't caught, beforehand, this is the time. It's not gonna end up in your semifreddo. So just take the extra 30 seconds just to kind of pass it through, make sure it's nice and smooth. And I'm gonna set this aside to cool slightly because I wanna work on the heavy cream. Now, the trick to making heavy cream, whipping it by hand, is to take your whisk and your bowl that you're gonna be whisking it in, preferably a glass bowl or a metal bowl, and you wanna put it in the freezer for about half hour just to get it nice and cold. And you wanna keep your heavy whipping cream in the fridge as last minute as possible, just to keep it really, really cold. And in about 2 minutes, I will have perfectly whipped cream. You wanna make sure that it's whipped, but it's not too stiff, because you can overmix this. You can over whisk it and then it turns into like butter. Don't want that. So now you take 8x4, this is just a regular loaf pan, and I've lined it with a few pieces of plastic wrap. I'm gonna put in my custard in my whipped cream. There you go, look at that. Now, if nobody else was around, I'm not gonna lie, I would take a spoon and I would eat a little bit of that. Just gonna mix this together. I'm folding it until it's all well combined, but I don't wanna kind of work it too much and deflate the whipped cream. And all I'm gonna do is put this in my pan. Oh yeah. Just looking at the custard alone makes me happy. Smooth it out. Save that for me. And then I'm just gonna fold the plastic wrap right on top of it. And it's that simple and that easy. Now this has to go into your freezer for about 8 to 10 hours. You want it to set, because obviously you can't eat it, well, you could eat it right now, but you don't want to. You want this to set, and it becomes absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna put this in, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. My semifreddo has been in the freezer for about 8 hours, and I am so excited to finally dig into this baby. Take off your plastic wrap and look at that. Now, yes, when I bring this to the table, I'm gonna put a vanilla bean on it and make it look all pretty, but you know me, you know I can't resist this. Cannot, so. Big bite at that. There's no chewing involved here. It's incredibly sweet, not overwhelming. The vanilla bean is the star of this entire dish. It is ice cream kicked up 1,000 notches. That's how good it is. And I'm telling you, the texture and the flavor combined, you're gonna think you're in Italy and one of the best gelaterias in town. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me. Check the description down below for the recipe, and I hope that you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Next time on Summer Desserts Unplugged, I'm gonna show you how to make a summer coffee cake, a perfect treat any time of day.